Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back in another Madden 22 video. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Houston Texans with the new addition of Derek Stingley, Kenyon Green, and Jalen out of Baylor. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name. This guy right here, Pitre is how you pronounce it. I would guess I would just try to pronounce it right there, but I always get made fun of for how I pronounce things. Like my Panthers rebuild, I kept saying Matt Carroll instead of Corral, and I genuinely did not notice until after I recorded the video and I was editing it, and I was like, dang, I'm an idiot. So I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce names, but Derek Stingley here, I got him on Superstar Dev. I'm going to move him up through the depth chart. I'm going to make him our starter here. He's going to be an absolute beast. And then offensively, Kenyon Green, I think he was a great pickup. They said they were trying to build around Dave Mills, but I was surprised they didn't take Ikem Ekwonu at 3 there because they said they wanted to solely build around Dave Mills here. So, yeah, taking Stingley at 3 was an interesting choice, but I do think it was honestly a better choice than taking Ikem Ekwonu at 3. Good jobs, Texans fans. Jalen is actually a pretty solid player. A lot of people had him going in the first round. I think I had a couple mock drafts where he was in the first round, so it was a great steal of a pick. And then Kenyon Green, also a first-round projection of a pick. And he's a pretty solid guard. And then who cannot forget, John Mechie out of Alabama. Wide receiver Alabama receivers, if that makes any sense. Wide receivers from Alabama, there we go. Usually do typically pretty well, so John Mechie may do very, very well in this system. Dave Mills is the QB specialist. Mechie is going to start in the slot. Marlon Mack is going to start here. And Dameon Pierce out of Florida. Oh, Damon Pierce, not Damian. Damon Pierce out of Florida. We're not going to have him start, but I guess who can be our power back here? Who's this? Christian Harris out of Auburn. Out of Alabama, my bad. He's still going to be the sub linebacker, but I'm not going to give him a development trait. So I'm going to make him the starter, though. Blake Cashman, I think they traded like a 6th or a 7th round pick for him from the Jets. But, yeah. Anyways, guys, apart from that, I think, actually, did the Texans sign Jerry Hughes? Or am I mistaken? I think they did. Let me check that real quick because I feel like they did sign Jerry Hughes, and I'm just completely missing out on it. So let's see if they did that. Texans signed edge Jerry Hughes. Okay, yeah. So these are my updated rosters. I'll make sure to do that whenever I'm done. But the Texans did sign Jerry Hughes in real life, so I will sign him here wherever he is. I think he's a right end. So Jerry Hughes, there he is. Jerry Hughes is going to be signed to the team because he was signed in real life. Jerry Hughes is now on the team, and we should be looking pretty good. So anyways, guys, I did not change any of the schemes. I did not change any of the playbooks. We're just going to see how the Houston Texans do in year 1 straight up with Derek Stingley and the others. So it's now time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 1-6 bottom of the division. I'm not really surprised by that. You know, it's the Texans. I didn't change any of their playbooks or anything. Just going to keep auto-generated prospects in this simulation. And yeah, let's look at the players ready to negotiate here. We have a fullback. Don't really care about it. It's not really that useful. And Marlon Mack, I guess I'll just give a 5-year deal. I mean, I guess he can be a good backup because I'm not going to keep Marlon Mack as my starter forever. Isaiah Yadam, I don't know who that is. He's not going to be playing here for much longer. Blake Cashman, I actually would kind of like back. He's a solid guy, but for $5 million a year, I actually don't want that anymore. I'm not paying you $5 million a year. Deshaun Hamilton, no. Everyone else here is just garbage. I just don't want them. Jerry Hughes, I'm not going to sign either. So, anyways, guys, apart from that, it's now time to move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, coming off a 31-14 loss against the Titans, who take the division at 11-6. We finished 4-13. I'm not really too surprised about it. You know, the team's not ridiculous. Dave Mills honestly didn't even have a bad season, but the worst offense in the NFL, 23rd defense, all right then. 4,000 yards, 25 TDs, 14 receptions. Not a horrible season for a 68 overall QB, but again, nothing ridiculous either. Marlon Mack, 3.5 per carry is not good. John Mechie, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns rookie year. Amazing rookie season for him. Looking at it defensively, Christian Harris, 159 tackles. Amazing rookie year. That's definitely going to be a star dev. Tackles for a loss, 16 for Rasheem Green. Okay, 6.5 for Jonathan Grenard. Derek Stingley with 3 interceptions his rookie campaign. Good stuff. 0 safeties, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So, disappointing season, but now I have the chance to finally change the playbooks. And in my Panthers rebuild, the Panthers playbook with their schemes absolutely dominated. So I'm going to switch up into 4-3 under. 4-3 under, and then it was multiple zone run. And let's just try to copy the Panthers playbook and see if that works, because Sam Darnold is a god in simulation. So let's see if this will work. There it is. Carolina, let's go backwards on this one this time to make sure we got it. Come on. There it is. Okay, just wanted to make sure that I have those playbooks adjusted, and it is now time to move in to the offseason. And the Buccaneers and Tom Brady go back for another Super Bowl, this time beating Deshaun Watson in the Super Bowl here. And the Jets coach wins Coach of the Year. All right, interesting. And Zach Wilson wins Rookie of the Year. Technically not rookie, but probably had a really good second season in his career. Let's look at the roster upgrades to see if we have any offensively. Looking into it, Mechie has superstar dev. That's awesome to see. Nobody else on offense. Defensively, looking into it, Harris, you're not going to give him 2 skill points and then just be like, yeah, he doesn't get a development. He was a starter, and he was my starting middle linebacker for sub linebacker as well. So I don't see why he just wouldn't get star dev. Doesn't make any sense to me. So rest of the defense, Grenard gets star dev. That's huge, I guess. How old is he? 25, so that's actually pretty good. Desmond King, Steven Nelson, Jalen Cashman. Okay, we're doing pretty solid. I think I'll have to re-sign Grenard in the re-signings here. I'm not going to re-sign Blake Cashman. We have a bunch of money to spend in this upcoming free agency, so we really need everything. Anything would really help us. So let's look at the 2021 retirements, technically the 2022 retirements. We are the AFC South, I assume. Yeah, I think we are the AFC South. I may be wrong on that. No, we are. I was right. Players ready to negotiate. No one retires in the AFC South. Rasheem Green wasn't horrible, but I'm still not going to re-sign him. And everyone here, I just don't want, especially Jerry Hughes. He's regressed a lot. We have $102 million to spend in free agency, so let's move into it. After free agency, I ended up only really getting Ronnie Harrison. Got him on a good deal. Jake Luton, I just picked up on a super cheap deal as a backup QB, so that way the CPU doesn't automatically sign QBs and screw me. So it's now time to move into the draft. At pick number 3, you're picking up a wide receiver, Jerron Beckwith, physical, 6'4", 229 pounds, 93 speed for 6'4", hidden dev. I had 100% unlocked on him, so he was a top 5 prospect, so it really secured this pick for me. And yeah, let's get to the next one. In the second round, picking up defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, hidden dev, 92 strength, Devon Weston. He seems like a total beast. Got him in the second round. I like this pick. This is the team after the draft, as Beckwith is a 78 overall. Seems like a total beast here. Absolutely love it. Mechie's going to play in the slot. Defensively, looking into it, Weston's a 77 overall. That is how you draft. We're having a really, really good time so far. Malik Collins, I'm going to move down and put Blacklock ahead of him just because Blacklock, I believe, is significantly younger. Yeah, 24 instead of 27. I guess that's not significantly, but still. I'm going to start Stingley. We got Ronnie Harrison. Defense is shaping up a lot better now. I really love the team. In the Panthers playbooks and their schemes, let's see if it works. It's time to get into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 2-4. The defense doesn't seem to be amazing, but it also doesn't seem to be horrible. I'm going to finish out the season to see if I rock with this scheme, but for right now, this is what we're rocking with. Let's look into the contract signings. Desmond King, I would like back for the remainder of this rebuild, even though he will start regression at the end of the season. Steven Nelson, no, he's too old. And Titus Howard, no. Everyone else here is just a no for me. Desmond King is the only guy I wanted. Don't think there's anything or anyone else here for me, so let's just move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs going 13-4. Immediate change to the playbook. Offensive points per game was 32nd. Yeah. Yikes. That's all I got to say about that one. We're switching up to Kansas City's playbook. It just seems like if you have a god tier running back, you just dominate simulations, what it seems to be. What do I go for the defensive playbook? Washington. No, I usually go with New England is what it was, or am I blanking on it? Let's try Tampa Bay's defense. Let's see if that works a little bit better for us. Beckwith has star dev, and Weston has star dev, unfortunately. I mean, I guess it's not that bad, but still, it's like I expected more from those amazing players. Davis Mills didn't really do the best. Worst offense and worst defense in the NFL. Almost 4,000 yards, 26 CDs, 11 interceptions. Marlon Mack, again, not a good season. Jerron Beckwith had a pretty solid rookie season. Looking at it defensively, Christian Harris, 138 tackles for a loss. 21 for Iguabawi something. Okay, sacks, 7.5 for Grenard, and interceptions, 3 for Derek Stingley. Again, safety, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. So is it time to move on from Davis Mills? I don't know. Let's move in to the offseason. And the Bengals beat the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Joe Mixon wins the Super Bowl MVP, and there are no awards here for the Houston Texans, unfortunately. So let's look into the roster to see if there is any development upgrades offensively. Dave Mills is still a 71 overall. Technically, he's 74 overall without the morale downgrade. So he's really not developing. I think it's time for us to move on from him. Defensively, looking into it, Pierre Lewis got started, but he's old, and I'm not going to keep him anyways. Grenard is just a beast, and he gets superstar dev. And then this guy, who I can't pronounce his name at all, gets star dev, but he's not going to be on the team anymore because I'm not going to re-sign him. Yeah, the defense can shape up nicely. It's just going to take a long time to do so. We're going to move into the re-sign players here to see who we have. I don't think I really want anyone else here. I don't think I'm really interested in anyone. But yeah, we also need to look into the retirements. Then I need to go off in free agency. I don't think Davis Mills is the future. He hasn't developed it nearly as fast as I hoped him for, so he's not really going to make it. FC South, no one on my team for the Texans retires. Let's go to the players ready to negotiate here and see who we got. Steven Nelson, some guy I can't pronounce your name, and everyone else here I just sincerely just do not care about. So let's move into free agency, maybe get a big-time QB. After free agency, I ended up getting Quentin Nelson, who I'm going to keep at left guard, move Kenyon Green to right guard, Deron Payne starting defensive tackle, Kareem Hunt at halfback, Sean Murphy Bunting for depth, Bobby Okereke I'm going to move to left outside linebacker, and Baker Mayfield. We got a new QB. I don't know if you can call it an upgrade. Either way, I'm going to make the changes right now to move Kenyon Green over to right guard and move Bobby Okereke to left outside linebacker. So Kenyon Green moving over to right guard. We have like probably pick number 2 or 3 in the draft. So I'm definitely not going to draft an offensive lineman with that. Just letting you guys know that. So probably going to draft an edge rusher. I would desperately need one. Or if there's a tight end at 3, a top 3 tight end, I guess. Deron Payne, Bobby Okereke is going to move to left outside linebacker. I figure he'll just excel better there. Then middle linebacker, I mean, yes, he is 27. He will start regression soon, but he's the better option that we have. And defensively, we also got Sean Murphy Bunting, of course. Derek Stingley still developing only to an 82 overall without the morale. That's kind of upsetting. But, yeah. Anyways, guys, apart from that, it's now time to move into the draft. At pick number 1 overall in draft, I'm picking up a right end, Shaq Vincent. Only normal dev, but he honestly looked like the best defensive end on the board. A finesse moves, A impact block, B pursuit, B stamina, A tackle. I'm surprised he doesn't have a development, but yeah, that's going to be our number 1 overall pick. And in pick number 1 of the second round, picking up left tackle Ryland Childress. And I'm going to move him to right tackle to replace Titus Howard and then complete our offensive line, really, maybe get a center. So this is the overlook of the team after the draft. I'm going to officially move Ryland over to right tackle so that way he can play there officially in full time. I picked up a center in the 3rd round. He doesn't really seem to be too good, as you guys can see up here on the screen. Gonna have to refresh the roster because it always switches players around. Yeah, Westbrook doesn't really seem to be that good. Got Kareem Hunt, though, so that's a big addition. Beckwith, I picked up this Moore guy in the 4th round. doesn't seem to be much better than Brevin Jordan or Brevin Jordan. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. And looking at it defensively, okay, Vincent is a 78 overall. That's a really, really good pick. That's a really high overall. He just didn't have a development. That's kind of upsetting. But yeah, I'm gonna scout around in free agency to see what we have for our center options and for our middle linebacker depth. So we're gonna go to middle linebacker. I guess, yeah, sure. I'll choose Dante Hightower. Then after Dante Hightower, what did I want? I wanted a center. Who do they got? Justin Britt. Sure. I guess I'll just take you and keep you at the center position for now because we have nothing else. So it's now time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, 4-2, top of the division. The Baker Mayfield effect, baby. I mean, we're coming off a 42-14 loss against the Jaguars, but we're not going to talk about that. Laramie Tunsil, of course, I want you back. Big deal here. Let's give it to you. And he resigns. Brandon Cooks, of course, I want you back as well. You're a big part of this team. He resigns. And just like every single time whenever I do these rebuilds, the contracts are always off. They should be 4 years, if not 5 years, because Derek Stingley is a first-round pick, so he should get a fifth-year option. So I do have to change this, and I have to go through each and every one of these, unfortunately. Well, each and every one that I actually care about, and go through them and adjust their contracts. Jonathan Grenard, I would love back. He's been kind of our only producer on that defensive line. Kenyon Green, Christian Harris, Sean Mechie. I'm going to have to all edit these guys. And hopefully I edit this part out and I see you guys in the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs going 12-5, second in the division, not taking the division as Jaguars take it at 13-4. Coming off a loss, the Colts who are 5-12. Did that prevent us from getting the first seed? Yes, it did. So we dropped from all the way from the first seed to the fifth seed because of that one loss. Here, Baker Mayfield here faces former team. Let's see what he did for the stats and awards. Baker did amazing. Fourth best offense in the NFL. Defensively, looking into it, 16th. And Baker, 5,100 yards, 36 TDs, 8 interceptions. Great year. Kareem Hunt, 12 TDs, 4.3 per carry. Great year. John Mechie, 1,300 yards, 15 TDs. That's an X factor. Brevin Jordan, 108 receptions, 1,200 yards, 8 TDs. That's star dev. Brendan Cooks, 5 TDs, 1,100 yards. Great year. Beckwith really hasn't lived up to his potential, but whatever. Christian Harris, 134 tackles for a loss, 15 for Daron Payne. Sacks, 10.5 for Shaq Vincent, the rookie. That's going to be a star dev. He should definitely get it. Interceptions, 5 for Desmond King. Safeties, 1 for Shaq Vincent. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Shaq Vincent was the right pick at number 3. Unfortunately, he just didn't have a development at the time. Can we beat the Cleveland Browns to move on to the divisional round? Can Baker beat his former team? He does. 35-20 here to face the 12-5 Denver Broncos to move on to the conference championship. Can we beat them? And we don't. 27-24, very close loss. Still, I'm happy with it. Anyways, let's move into the offseason. Looks like the Packers beat the Broncos in overtime. Jair Alexander wins the Super Bowl MVP. And I'm surprised that Shaq Vincent did not get the defensive rookie of the year. But let's look at the upgrades here. Offensively, what do we got, boys? Mechie does get X Factor, not surprised. Baker Mayfield gets Superstar Dev. Jordan gets Star Dev. Ryland here has only Star Dev, which I'm cool with. Britt is regressing. Beckwith has dropped below Mechie. And looking at it defensively, Hightower. Bobby Okereke is a superstar dev. Shaq Vincent literally had 10.5 sacks and a safety as a rookie. And he was the number 3 pick overall. I don't see how he just didn't come with star in the first place. But yeah, he's at least getting star now. I don't see why he wouldn't have it. So we had a really, really good run this year. D-line is looking very nice. In the draft, what would I have to pick up? I think I would just straight up have to trade for a linebacker or a center, because it is the final season, so we might as well make the most of it. We have $58 million to spend, but we have some re-sign players here. I don't think there's anyone that I actually do want to re-sign. I fixed all the contracts with the rookies off camera, on camera, depending on whether or not I actually edited the video, edited that part of the video out. Tom Brady retires on the Panthers, interestingly enough. Devin McCourty retires on the Jaguars. I don't think we've had a single retirement here for the Texans this entire rebuild, but let's look at it here. Everyone here, just not interested. Don't really care. let's hop into free agency and see what we can do. Here we are after free agency, getting another huge weapon for Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. Got Khalil Mack. I'm going to keep him at outside linebacker. I know we run a 4-3, but I can just have him at my rush right end specialist, so don't worry about it. We also got Justin Tucker here, the GOAT kicker, so it is now time to move in to the draft. At the end of the first round, I'm picking up a middle linebacker, Alex Evans out of LSU, hidden dev, 91 speed. He seems like a great player, and he's going to be a depth player too, because we really don't need anything else on this team. And in the second round, I'm picking up right guard Trayvon Abraham, hidden dev out of Texas Tech. He's going to move inside to the center position. So this is the team after the draft. Abraham here is a 70 overall right guard. I'm sure if I move him over into center, he's going to be like a 68 overall, if not a 69 overall. Nice. But yeah, we're going to move him over inside to the center position to, just be our better center. Yeah, 68 overall with the boost, 67 without it. John Mechie, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, and Beckwith. Who's playing in my slot? Brandon Cooks behind Brandon Cooks in front of Beckwith, my bad. And then Evans seems to be at middle linebacker as well. Christian Harris. Yeah, I don't like that Khalil Mack is starting over Shaq Vincent, but I guess Renard has been more consistent. So for those of you guys saying, oh my God, you're in a 4-3 and you don't have Khalil Mack move down to defensive end position. He's playing rush right end. He's still rushing off the edge. Don't worry. Holy crap. Alex Evans is a 79 overall hidden dev. I am a beast at drafting, and it looks like the CPU picked up this other defensive tackle named Wagner. But, yeah. Anyways, guys, apart from that, the team looks beastly, and it is now time to move into the playoffs because we don't need to re-sign anybody at the midseason mark. So let's get into it. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Broncos. Best offense in the league in points per game. Best defense. Well, second best defense in points per game. 15-2, top of the division. First round bye. Wow. Stats and awards, let's see what we got. We went from being the pick number 3 in the draft team to this 2 years later. Baker was a beast. Best offense in the NFL. Fifth best defense. And Baker was second for league MVP. So close, still going to be an X factor. 5,200 yards, 45 TDs, 11 interceptions. Kareem Hunt, 13 TDs, 4.8 per carry is great. 1,200 yards. Brandon Cooks, 1,400 yards, 11 TDs. Mike Evans, 10 TDs, 1,200 yards. Brevin Jordan, almost 1,000 yards, 11 TDs. Mechie did pretty good. Yeah. So let's see what we got here for Christian Harris. 137 tackles for a loss, 12 for Khalil Mack. See, I told you it doesn't matter if he's at the defensive end position as long as he's at the specialist rush right end or rush left end position, he's still going to produce. 21.5 sacks, Jonathan Grenard at 10.5 sacks, and Shaq Vincent was his second string at rush defensive end, and he had 10 sacks still. Doing amazing. Deron Payne and Weston are not doing as good as I thought they would. Interceptions, 4 for Desmond King and 4 for Ronnie Harrison. Safeties is 1 for Khalil Mack. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So, anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to see who we're going to be facing in the divisional round and seeing if we can actually beat them in the divisional round. The 9-8 Cleveland Browns, Baker's former team again. Let's see if he can wrap this one up, kind of like how he wrapped it up last time. And nope, they wrap up his career and they wrap up this rebuild for us. Okay, Baker, if you had lost last year, it wouldn't have been a problem. But this year when we're 15-2 and have a first round bye, you just embarrassed us. Deshaun Watson is going to sexually assault someone in the Super Bowl now because of you. And they actually did make it into the Super Bowl. The Falcons beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and Deion Jones wins the Super Bowl MVP. There are no awards here for the Houston Texans. Let's see the development upgrades, though. This is an unsuccessful rebuild because we did not win the Super Bowl. We only had one playoff win. Baker Mayfield gets Superstar X Factor. Brandon Cooks gets Superstar Dev. Abraham only has Star Dev. That's fine. Defensively, Bobby Okereke already had Superstar. Evans only has Star Dev. Stingley stays at a Superstar Dev throughout his entire career. But, yeah, unfortunately, this was a bust of a rebuild, but I do think we built a pretty good team going 15-2 as well. So anyways, guys, apart from that, I'll see you guys all in the next one.